Hello, Prealgebra students. This is lesson 57. Our objective is how do you perform operations with small numbers in scientific notation. This is from example 2, and we're just multiplying this scientific number, or this small number in scientific notation times this number in scientific notation. So notice, or I guess remember, if you have like 2 times 3, that's the same thing as saying 3 times 2. Both of them come out to be 6. So notice that I have the same idea here, except for in this case I have 4 numbers. This number is multiplying by that number, which is multiplying by that number, which is multiplying by that number. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the order of all of these. So I'm going to write this 2.4 times this 2 times 10 to the negative 6 times 10 to the negative 2. So notice they're all here. That one's there, that one's there, that one's there, that one's there. Now multiply those two together, because I can do that. What's 2.4 times 2? This is going to be 4.8 times, and then remember when we have the same base, we simply add those exponents. So it's going to be, so this part right here is going to equal to 10 to the negative 6 plus a negative 2. So when we have the same sign, it's going to be 10 to the negative 8, because 6 plus 2 is 8. And this number here is still smaller than 10 and bigger than 1, so this is going to be my answer. Now, same basic idea here, except for now, notice instead of multiplying them, I'm dividing them. So I'm going to still do the same idea. I'm going to divide these two, and then divide those two, and then multiply them together. So 2.4 divided by 2 is going to give me 1.2 times, and then remember on this part right here, we're going to subtract. So it's going to be 10 to the negative 8 minus the negative 2. Okay? Minus and minus is like saying negative 8 plus 2. Different signs, so you subtract, so it's going to be 10 to the negative 6. So it's going to be 1.2 times 10 to the negative 6. Again, this number right here is still bigger than 1, smaller than 10, so this will be my answer. Let's try a couple more here. Another multiplication, so I'm going to just rearrange the order there. So I'm going to say 4 times 5 times 10 to the negative 6 times 10 to the negative 4. Well, 4 times 5 is 20 times, again, add those exponents. So it's going to be 10 to the negative 10, because 6 plus 4 is 10. But notice that this number is no longer smaller than 10. It's now bigger than 10. 4 and 5 are both smaller than 10. So these are both in scientific notation, but this one is no longer in scientific notation. So I don't want the decimal place here, I actually want it here. So if you wanted to think about this, since the decimal place is here, if I moved it to the left 10, like if I expanded this out and put it in standard form, we 1, 2, 3, so it'd be a 2 with 8 zeros in front of it. Okay? But now, instead of moving it 10 places, I only need to move it one more place to here. So to change it to scientific notation, it's going to be 2 times 10 to the negative 9. See, because before I was moving it this far, now I'm only going to need to move it this far. So kind of if you move it left, you add to exponent. If you move it right, you subtract from exponent. Okay. So I moved it left 1, so that means I added 1 to that negative 10 and got negative 9. Alright, let's try another one here. So same idea here, 4 divided by 5. If you don't know what that is, let's see here. 4 divided by 5 doesn't go into that, so I'll add a decimal place. It goes into that 8 times. So 4 divided by 5 is 0.8 times, subtracting those exponents, 10, number negative 8 minus a minus 2. It's going to be negative 8 plus 2, which is going to be negative 6. So notice now my decimal place is right here, but that's no longer bigger than 1, so I actually need to move it here, 1 to the right. So that means I'm going to subtract 1 from the exponent, so this is going to be 8 times 10. Remember, negative 6 minus 1 is going to be negative 7. And now that's in scientific notation. Alright, feel free to watch this again, ask questions if you have them, or contact me otherwise. Your homework is there on page 390. You're going to do the practice set, all the 56s, and then 8 more of your choice. Good luck.